Okay, go ahead.
Ajahn, in many of your books and your teaching, you mentioned that the mind is permanent, and there are other factors which are permanent. Does it contradict the teaching of the Buddha? Basically, I mean, I believe there was saying that the four elements plus space plus the mind, they are permanent features. So does it mean that in the Buddha's teaching, when he said permanence means all conditions, all mind conditions, all formations which involve these six factors are impermanent. Is that what the teaching is about?
Yes, the teaching means the combination of these six elements are temporary. They come and form and then they separate.
Yes.
But they themselves don't disappear. They return to their original state. The sixth element is always there. But when they come to form together like a body, like your body and my body, they will do it temporarily. After a time, then it will separate, return back to its original state. The earth element will return to the earth element. The water element will return to the water element. If you study the dead body, for instance, when people die, you see the dissolution or the separation of the four elements, the five elements. The mind and the body is separated at that time already. The mind is the knowing element. Then the air element, you no longer breathe in or breathe out. You only the air remaining inside the body that start to come out. Then the water in the body will start to come out. And eventually all that is left is just the earth element. But then again, this five element will recombine again and form a new body, a new human being, a new animal again. So this is keep going in cycle. That's what we call the cycle of rebirth, of forming and dissolution. That's what it really means.
So Ajahn, is it not? What does the word say? Is it safe to say that all these elements come into formation because of the craving of the mind? I mean, when the mind attaches to a thought or a perception that forms, and the perception, has a good feeling, a bad feeling, all this will start coming to form, an object.
The mind itself has the craving to use a body that has the five sensory organs, having eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, and that is the human body or the animal body. And the formation of the human or animal body has their own separate condition or forces that combine them. While the mind itself has the three cravings that pushes the mind to connect with the body as soon as the new body is formed. And the mind that existed without a body will then connect to a new body. Like when after you die, your mind and your body will separate. Your mind will go search for a new body. In the meantime, while the mind waits to get a new body, the mind will exist in a spiritual form. It can be a happy form or it can be an unhappy form. If it's a happy form, we call it heaven or angels, spiritual beings. Devas, for instance, and Brahma. These are the mind's spiritual form of existence. And the cost of this happiness is the good karma that you do while you are alive. You give dana, you keep the precepts, then your mind will be a good mind, will be a good spiritual being, and reaping the reward of being a good spiritual being by being happy spiritual being. On the opposite end, if you don't keep the precept, you don't give charity, then your mind will be a bad spiritual mind, be an unhappy being. So we have different type of unhappy spiritual beings called preta, hungry ghosts, asuragaya, means scary ghost, and hellish being. This is the spiritual being that is not happy because of its anger and ill will toward other people, but doing bad karma toward other people. Then it will make the spirit angry, the spirit hateful, and very unhappy. So you have to go through these different type of spiritual states before you can get a new body. As soon as the good or the bad karma cancel itself, then you are free more or less to go and get a new body, connect to a new body. When you are reborn, your good and bad karma are more or less cancel or equal. So it cannot cause you suffering or happiness. So then you need the happiness of using the body. When you have a body, then you use the body to go look for happiness through the five sensory organs. When you see things, you become happy. When you hear things, you become happy. But there is also a drawback, because what you see and what you hear doesn't always make you happy. Sometimes it can make you angry, make you sad also. So that's the drawback of finding happiness through the five sensory organs. Okay, understand? That's why the Buddha said that we should learn to find a different way of finding happiness. And that's the happiness of calming the mind by meditation. Because this is the method that will give you pure happiness. No unpleasant feeling, no sadness, no negative feeling from the result of your meditation. But everything else will give you some negative feeling, negative feedback. No matter how good they may be, one day they can change, they can disappear, and then they can cause you sadness and misery. So the whole purpose is to switch our way of making ourselves happy. Try to reduce using the body as the means of making us happy, and use meditation as the means of making us happy. And if you can do it until 100%, then you don't need the body. You can be happy by just maintaining calm in your mind. When your mind is calm and peaceful, your mind can be happy. And then it doesn't have to rely on the body to make it happy. Then whatever happens to the body will not make the mind sad, because the mind doesn't rely or depend on the body anymore. The body can get old, get sick or die. The mind can still be happy. But if you rely on the body to make you happy, then when the body becomes sick or become incapacitated, then you become very miserable, because you cannot use the body to make you happy. So basically, you don't have to worry about the nature of all the things. All you have to worry about is how to meditate to make yourself peaceful and calm. The first method is the simple method, that of using mindfulness, such as reciting a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then you can calm your mind. But this is a temporary method. After you come out of your meditation, you can still become attached to your body, and you still want to use the body to do things to make you happy, because your mind still have the three cravings. So the next step after you have learned how to meditate by using mindfulness, when you come out of your meditation, when your mind crave for things, you should use wisdom to stop the craving. By study the things that you crave for, that they are impermanent, that they can cause you unhappiness when they change or when they disappear. When you see the three characteristics of things that you crave for, then you will not want to crave for them. Then you can eventually get rid of all your cravings. And when there are no cravings in your mind, then there will be nothing to make your mind uneasy or unhappy. You can be happy by being alone, by not having to do anything. Okay. Who's the next person? What's it? Sunny. Who wants to speak first? Sunny, you came in first. Is there anything you want to say? I think you cannot. You have to turn on your microphone. There's an icon down below your screen next to the red icon. You have to turn it on. Okay, he's gone. So it's you turn on. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Where are you from?
Can.
Yes, where are you from?
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any question?
Maybe later.
Maybe later. Okay. I thought you wanted to ask something. But I'll go to the next person then. Uttara. Hi. Can you hear me? Please turn on your Uttara. Okay. Uttara. Sunny Lu. How are you, Sunny Lu? Can you hear me?
Yes, Ajahn.
Can you turn on your camera so we can see you? Okay.
Can you see me, Ajahn?
Yeah, can see you now. But my video blocks.
Yeah, sorry, Ajahn.
Yes, go ahead. Where are you from, Sunny?
I'm from Malaysia, Penang.
Penang.
I visited Ajahn once, sometime in March. March on the 8th. I visited Ajahn
just before,
on top of the hill.
Just before the spread of the virus, huh?
Yeah, just before the spread of the virus. There were three of us, one female and two males.
I see. Did you stay?
And
did you stay overnight, or did you just come for the day?
We only visited Wat Yan for the Dhamma, and also to visit you at the hill.
Yes. So we had met and we talked.
Yes, Ajahn. I would like to say I would like to say thank you. You gave us a Dhamma talk, a Dhamma answer on the perception of impermanence.
Yes.
When I mentioned that when the mind is separated from the body, you mentioned that you have to remember impermanence. So that everything is impermanent. Can you remember, Ajahn?
Yes. I always talk about impermanence. Everybody I talk to.
Yeah. So and you were saying also that the kilesas will also be eradicated by having the perception of impermanence. So I would like to say thank you for giving us that teaching that we have managed to learn from you.
Have you managed to get rid of some of your defilements, your kilesa?
Yes. I noticed that with the perception of impermanence, we can overcome greed, hatred, and delusion, and also we can overcome our craving and also our attachment.
That's right. Once you see the three characteristics, impermanent, causing suffering, and no self in everything, then you will let go. You will have no attachment. You will have no craving or any desire to possess them or to use them for your happiness. Good.
Yes, true, Ajahn. Very true.
You plan to come back to Thailand again?
Yeah, after the COVID-19.
Okay.
I would like to visit you again one more time.
Okay, good. We'll see you again soon when everything is safe to travel.
Yes, Ajahn. Sure, Ajahn.
Okay, you want to ask anything?
For the time being, no.
Okay. Well, then let me say hello to Daisy soon. Daisy, can you hear
Okay.
me?
Okay, Ajahn.
Can you turn on the camera so we can see you?
Okay, I turn on camera. Actually, I visited your place with wait, how to on the camera?
It's down below below the screen. There's a camera icon. Okay, now. How are you? Where are you from?
Okay. I'm from KL.
KL. Okay. Have you visited Thailand?
Yes, I visited your place before with after visit Ajahn Vimoka, then went to your monastery last year,
I see.
August.
August. How long did you spend in Thailand?
I went 1 week.
1 week. And where did you go?
Went to Ajahn Vimoka Monastery.
Yes. Where
And
is
then
that?
after that, we went to your place.
Ajahn Vimok. Where was this place? You know?
Sorry?
The location of Ajahn Vimok.
It's the what's the way? Start with P, Papa, Papi.
Okay, you cannot.
Near your place there. We went there to see the installation of the statue, Buddha statue.
I see.
So after that, he took us to your place. Then I went there we did pay respect to you, and some Dhamma talk also that time last year August. Actually, we are supposed to go this year August also, but then I don't know whether the thing is on or not lah. Just because of this COVID-19.
Yes. Right now, everything is quite uncertain, so we have to wait for a while to see how things turns out.
Actually, I will visit your monastery again. Visit.
Do you meditate?
Actually, at home I seldom meditate, but I prefer to go for retreat meditation.
Where do you go?
Actually, I'm supposed to go Malacca to join Mahindran for the novitiate program one, but because of this COVID-19, so cancel.
Yes, everything is cancelled right now because we're supposed to stay apart. Because if we stay close, we might share our virus with each other. But we don't know who has the virus. Sometimes people who has the virus has no symptom. You might have the virus, I might have the virus, and we don't know it. And when we're in close contact with other people, then the virus can jump from you to another person. Somehow, I'm not sure how. They say usually from your mouth and from your nose. Airborne.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to ask?
Not at the current moment. But actually last time, Brother Stuart from Subhan Jaya Association, he always send to the WhatsApp group your teaching one, your Dhamma teaching.
Yes. Okay.
You know Brother Stuart, isn't it? The Subang Jaya one.
Can you repeat the question?
Brother Stuart from Subang Jaya Association. Subang Jaya Association.
Who is he? Your friend?
No, Brother Stuart.
Brother.
Stuart.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, okay, it's okay, but
okay. Let me then talk to other people.
Okay.
Okay, you can.
Okay.
You can continue on listening if you like.
Okay.
So, anybody else who wants to have any questions? Sunny, do you want to ask anything yet?
I just check.
Ajahn,
Yes.
I would like to ask you that we really need to have jhana in order to proceed with vipassana.
No, I don't really mean you need it, but it's very helpful with jhana, because then your mind will be equipped with ubekkha. Because when you have to resist your defilement, when you use vipassana, when you see that, say for instance, if you are attached to smoking, and when you use vipassana, you will see that smoking is bad for you. Okay? It's a temporary form of happiness, and it will keep you dependent on the smoking. So if you want to stop, if your mind doesn't have ubekkha, you will feel very miserable when you want something, and you force yourself to resist that desire. But if you have ubekkha, your mind can be calm and not hurt, not miserable. You can just remain calm and just refuse to smoke. So you can remain calm and refuse to smoke. Eventually, your craving for the smoking will then subside and eventually disappear forever. But if you don't have ubekkha, you'll find very unpleasant to resist your craving. When you want to smoke, when you want to drink, when you want to see something or do something, your mind becomes agitated and restless. But if you know how to meditate, then you can use meditation to help calm your mind, to get rid of this agitation and unpleasant feeling, in order for you to resist your cravings. So basically, if you just want to contemplate on vipassana, like the body as being temporary, impermanent, it's gonna get old, get sick, and die, you can do it without samadhi. But when you want to apply the knowledge that you use from your contemplation to let go of your attachment to the body, you will need to have ubekkha, have a mind that is peaceful and calm, to let go of your attachment. You do this when you are in crisis, like when you get sick, for instance. Normally, when you get sick, what you do? You want to get well. This is craving, and this craving makes you feel unpleasant. But if you use vipassana and you say, this is the nature of the body, sooner or later it has to be sick. And once it is sick, you cannot just tell it to go away right away. It might take some time before your sickness can be cured. So in the meantime, what you can do is to leave the sickness alone by accepting the sickness as part of your life, as part of the condition of the body. And if you don't have samadhi, your mind will be restless, your mind will be agitated, your mind will be miserable. But if you can calm your mind with samadhi, then you can live with your sickness and having no problem. You will feel normal. You'll feel as if you're not sick if you can meditate to make your mind calm when you are sick. So this is what you need to do if you want to use vipassana to get rid of your suffering, your mental suffering. You use both. You use vipassana to teach your mind that to accept the sickness of the body, and you use samadhi to calm the mind so that the mind doesn't feel unhappy with the sickness. Understand?
Okay, Ajahn.
Okay. If you don't have samadhi, then you keep running around looking for cure, right? Go to this doctor and then go to that doctor. If this doctor doesn't cure you, you look for a new doctor, new way, new method. And you just keep on running around. But if you just accept the fact that maybe some of the sickness you cannot cure, you have to live with it. And you just accept it by using samadhi. Calm your mind and live with your sickness. Such as if you are incapacitated, you become crippled or something, cannot walk for instance, then you just have to learn to live with your new condition. But you can do it in a way that won't make you unhappy or miserable, because you can make your mind calm and happy while living with a crippled body, for instance. Okay? So basically
Yes,
you need
Ajahn.
samadhi. Samadhi is like anesthesia. And before you do any surgery, you have to anesthetize the body first. So when the doctor do the surgery, you don't feel the pain. So when the body gets sick or when the body has to die, if you have samadhi, then your mind will be protected from having suffering from the death of the body. Like recently, did you hear the story of a monk who died in his kuti at Wat Banta?
Yes, Ajahn.
At
Yes.
Longta Mahabua Monastery. His kuti
Yes.
caught on fire and he couldn't get out. So he just sat in samadhi and passed away that way. He protected his mind, but he could not protect his body. So his mind wasn't miserable or hurt by the burning of the body. So this is what you need to have in order to let go of anything that you are attached to. If you don't have samadhi, you will not be able to let go. And then you will be very, very, very miserable when you have to lose something that you love, such as your body or someone you love, your family member. But if you have samadhi, then your mind will be calm and peaceful and accepting the truth that impermanent is the nature of things. Everything is impermanent. Sooner or later, we will all have to separate. But we can separate in a happy way. You don't have to suffer. So you have to try to learn to meditate. Sit still and watch your breath. If you cannot watch your breath, then you can use chanting first. You can chant some chanting that you can remember. Chanting in your mind mentally. You don't have to do it verbally. If you can chant mentally, you can sit comfortably. And after a while, your mind can become calm. And then you can look at your breath. Concentrate on watching your breath. And if you keep watching your breath and you can stop your thinking, then eventually your mind will become ubekkha, become calm, peaceful and happy. And if you keep doing this, you will become proficient. Then you will be able to do it easily afterwards. But when you first start, you will find it very difficult because you are fighting with your thoughts. Your mind likes to keep thinking all the time. So when you force it to stop thinking, you feel there's a stress inside yourself, inside the mind. You feel very unhappy, unpleasant. But if you just keep on concentrating on your meditation object, eventually you will prevail. You will then stop your thoughts. When the thoughts stop, then all the stress will disappear. And the mind will then become peaceful and calm for a while, temporarily. So you have to keep on doing it. After the mind, after the thought return, then you have to stop it again. Just try to keep stopping your thought as much as possible. Only thing when you have to think, like when you have to work or do something. But if you don't have to use your thought, try to stop them by either using a mantra if you're not sitting. If you're sitting, you can use chanting, you can use watching your breath. If you can concentrate on watching your breath, keep doing it. Then your thought will gradually disappear and eventually stop. Then your mind will become light and easy, peaceful and calm and happy. So this is what you need to do before you can go to the next step of vipassana. Vipassana is to remind yourself to let go of everything. Because if you cling or attach to anything, when they have to leave you, they can make you very unhappy. But if you prepare yourself ahead of time to let go, to know that this thing or that this person will stay with me temporarily. Sooner or later, he or she will have to leave me, or I have to leave them. Then you just do it without having any sense of sadness. Okay, this is the purpose of meditation. Buddhist meditation is to get rid of sadness and fear and suffering when we have to lose everything that we have. And when the body dies, you lose everything, right? You cannot take anything with you except your good and bad karma. So try to do good karma, because good karma will support your spiritual your mind, make your mind happy, make your mind becoming a happy spiritual being. While your bad karma will make your mind become unhappy, sad, miserable spiritual being. So try to keep the precept in order to prevent you from doing any bad karma. And then try to do charity. Be kind, be loving toward other people or animals. Give them happiness. When you give people happiness, you get happiness in return. This is the way of building up happiness of good karma inside your mind. So when you have nobody to rely on to make you happy, then you can rely on your good karma to make you happy. While you wait for a new body, wait for new rebirth. But if you can practice vipassana, then you can eventually stop all your cravings. And once you have no craving, then you won't have to return and be reborn here. Then you will live you will live as a spiritual being, a happy, permanent, happy spiritual being, like the Buddha and his noble disciples. So this is the goal of all Buddhists, is to reach this state of happiness. By practicing dana, charity, practicing sila, keeping the precept, and bhavana, meditation for calm and meditation for insight, vipassana. Okay? This is
Okay,
a good
Ajahn.
sermon for today. Anybody have any questions?
Ajahn,
Okay.
Adeline here. I have a question. How do you teach or instill anger management in children? Because they're always angry or frustrated, and it's one of the ways to teach them meditation, but it's difficult for children to sit for such a long period of time. So do you have any suggestion how we can maybe start children with meditation?
Well, you have to find some diversion when they get angry. Find something for them to do, so they can forget what made them angry. So maybe if they're angry, crying, get a doll or something for them to play with or something like that. So you need to divert them from the present situation that made them angry. And as they grow up, you can teach them to recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. And tell them when they are angry or frustrated, just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. And then they will forget what the things that make them angry or unhappy.
That's a good age.
What is a good age to start?
Any age, you can teach them anytime. Just teach them, recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Because the earlier the better, because they listen to you more when they're younger. But as they grow up, then they start to question what you teach them.
Yes.
So just try it and just say Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. You should also do it by example. Like the whole family, every night before go to bed, you should sit and do some chanting or do some Bhutto, Bhutto. Tell them to sit down, close their eyes for 5 minutes and recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto.
Good idea.
You need to guide them by your practice, not by what you say. Because they can forget what you say, but they don't forget what they do with you. So you can keep this a routine every day, the whole family before go to bed. Sit down and then maybe do some chanting and then meditate for 5 minutes by reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. This can then start to instill some habit in them. And once they do it for a while, they'll find that the mind becomes lighter and happier when they recite Bhutto. So when they're in stress, when they have problems, they might use Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto to relieve the stress. So you need to teach by practice, by doing, not merely just teaching, because teaching alone is not effective than teaching and practicing together.
We'll try that. All right. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, I think if nobody else has any more questions, I think
I've got Tan Ajahn, I've got a few questions if I may ask. One of them is I've been talking to my friend about who is actually qualified to teach the Dhamma. Some of them, one of them is of the opinion that only the Arahants can teach, because during the Buddha's time, Buddha only sent out the 60 Arahant to go and teach the Dhamma. But I've listened to a Dhamma talk before, I recall. One of the monks said that 3 types of person can teach the Dhamma, which is the Aryas, a person that has jhana, and also a person with psychic. Can you comment on that and see who can actually qualified to teach the Dhamma?
Well, they are qualified to teach what they know. If you have psychic powers, you can teach people how to develop psychic power. But you cannot teach other things, like the Four Noble Truths or the cessation of suffering, for instance. So each person has a different capacity in teaching. They can only teach what they know. They cannot teach what they don't know. with the area, they will teach you the cessation of suffering. Other people cannot teach you the cessation of suffering. They can teach you, but if they cannot do it themselves, then what they teach you, they are not quite sure themselves either, whether it is practical or not, it is of producing any result or not, because they haven't yet proved it to themselves yet. So it's better to learn from someone who has already practiced, who has already proven, and he can be very certain, very sure of his teaching. But if someone just read and then teach you without he or she himself and herself experiencing the result of their practice, then they cannot tell you with certainty that this is true or not. So if you're lucky to run into the noble one, then learn from them. But you learn from a scholar, such as monks who just study the scripture and teaches you. They can teach you, but they themselves still might not understand what they teach you. And sometimes if you ask them questions, they might not be able to give you the answer or give you the wrong answer. And they can misguide you in the wrong direction. Okay?
So if I like the worldling, like a putujana, we go and teach the Dhamma, and we ourselves do not have in-depth knowledge of it. And if we teach wrongly, that means, are we creating bad karma ourselves?
Well, not bad karma, but useless karma, let's put it that way. Because you have good intention, you want to help people. But
yes.
But what you try to help is useless to them and yourself.
I see. Okay.
Right? So it's better to first prove what you have read, what you have studied, whether it is true or not by your practice. Once you have proven, then you can then teach people and tell them exactly the truth, and then they can then use it and benefit from what you tell them. Okay?
Okay.
Any more questions?
Okay. Tan Ajahn, one more. Going back to just now, Brother Sani was asking you about jhana. I recall in one of the Dhamma talk I heard as well, Venerable, one of the Venerable asked Venerable Ananda, what meditation practice is praised by the Buddha? And Venerable Ananda actually replied, the practice that leads to the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana is praised by the Buddha. So, is that the only, in that way, is that the only method of meditation that we have to look at? I know Tan Ajahn is talking about vipassana and things like this as well.
Well, you first need to have samatha bhavana, which is meditation or jhana. You need to get to the fourth jhana. But you don't have to go further than that if you don't want it to. You don't have to go to the fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth jhana, which are the arupa jhana. They don't contribute to your practice of vipassana anyway. So all you need is the fourth jhana. Once you have the fourth jhana, you can make your mind neutral and calm and not reactive. When you have to let go of things, your mind will not feel sad or unhappy. So this is what you need first to bring your mind to, is toward the fourth jhana. Then next you study the truth of the things that you have to let go. The truth that you possess, the things that you possess, that they are all temporary. Sooner or later you will have to lose them, be separated from them. And so you have to teach your mind to let go. If you have the fourth jhana, then you can let go. If you don't have the fourth jhana, when you have to let go, you feel very miserable. To the point sometimes you will resist from letting go. Okay? Okay, we have some newcomers in here.
Thanks.
Let me welcome Sui. How are you, Sui? Can you
Yeah,
hear?
this is Rick and Jack.
What's
Yeah,
your
we have
name?
been
What's
listening
your
to your
name?
talk.
Sui and Jack. My name is Jack. His name is Sui.
Okay, where are you from?
We are from Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver, Canada. It's early in the morning, huh? Or at late at night?
Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight, okay.
We have been listening to your talk, Ajahn.
Chắc cần co chủ ít. Vô lúc mà ai ta link sẽ nào lui link. WhatsApp ấy, then you click on the link.
Doris Cook, can you turn off your microphone first? We are talking to this.
Turn off.
Okay. Do you have any questions from Canada? From
Yes.
Vancouver. Vancouver.
Yeah, from.
It's actually Coquitlam, but it's close to Vancouver.
I see. And you've been living there for a while now?
For 10 years now.
For 10 years.
Where were you from originally?
From Malaysia.
From
Yeah,
Malaysia.
we migrated to Canada.
Where in
20-something years ago.
Kuala Lumpur or Penang?
From Penang.
From Penang.
From Penang?
Yes.
You immigrated there?
Yes.
Yes. We came here to study.
Yeah.
And then we decided to stay.
Have you received your Canadian citizenship?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We
Yes.
did. Yeah.
Yes.
And you also you can also keep your Malaysian citizenship also?
No.
No.
No, you cannot. You cannot
Yeah,
have
we
dual
cannot.
citizenship. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there anything
Only
I
one.
can do for you? Would you like to ask anything?
Yes. Bante, I would like to know how to develop unshakable faith towards Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
Well, unshakable faith, you need to, besides from study, you have to also practice until you reach the first level of enlightenment, the level of a Sotapanna. Once you have achieved that level, you see the truth inside yourself. You see the Four Noble Truths. You know that the Buddha who teaches the Four Noble Truths is true. The Four Noble Truths is true. And the noble disciple who has achieved this Four Noble Truths is also true. So your faith in the Triple Gem will be unshakable from that point on.
Okay.
So you need to practice dana, charity. You have to practice sila, precepts, keeping the precept. And you need to practice bhavana, meditation. Then eventually it will lead you to the first level of enlightenment, becoming a Sotapanna. Before that, your faith will be uncertain. Sometimes you might be faithful and sometimes you might still be doubtful because you haven't seen the Dhamma, the true Dhamma inside your heart, which is the Four Noble Truths. You can see the Four Noble Truths inside your heart and experience the bliss from attaining to that truth. Then you will be permanently faithful to the Triple Gem. Okay? So keep studying and keep practicing. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we will.
We will.
Right. Okay. Any more questions from you?
Do you have any more questions?
And in terms of metta.
Yes.
Yeah, so how do we practice metta?
Metta is to give happiness to other people. Share happiness. Actually, that's metta. Being kind, being helpful, being loving toward other people. That's what metta means. So if somebody makes you angry, you should not get mad at them. You should still be kind toward them. You still be loving toward them by forgiving them.
Okay.
And whatever you do, you want to make sure you don't hurt them. What you say, what you do, you don't want to hurt other people or things. And this is being metta. And if you have more than you can use, share them, give it to other people. Like this time of need, there are people who need food, need clothing, need help. If you can share some of what you have, then this is showing metta.
Okay.
So basically it means...
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Could I switch off the...
Can you please wait? Let the people who've been talking before.
May I ask a question, Ajahn?
Can you wait first? Can we still talking?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to Sui again.
Oh.
You asked?
From Vancouver. From Vancouver.
Ajahn, may I ask, like, if the for meditation, does it matter if, like, how the length of time that we meditate, or is it more important the quality of the meditation?
What we want is quality, but in order to get quality, you might need to put in a lot of input also, because quality comes from long input. If you meditate briefly, you probably get very brief quality. So if you keep practicing meditating longer and longer, then you get more quality after that. So you need both, really. You need the length of time to meditate in order to get the quality. But eventually, when you first started, you might spend more time to get very little quality. But as you advance, you know how to meditate properly, then you'll get more quality out of the same amount of time that you put in. Because when you first started, you were like learning to ride a bicycle. You don't know how to ride. So it takes a while for you to get the bike running, But after you learn how to ride a bike, then you can get on the bike and get running very quickly.
Yeah, nice.
So it's the same way with meditation. So don't worry about the time or the quality. You need both.
Okay.
When you first started, you have to put in a lot of effort. Because you need to practice. You need to learn how to meditate. When you first started, it's like trial and error. You do it right and you do it wrong. Sometimes you get the result and sometimes you don't get the result. So you learn from your experience. Eventually you'll know the right way of meditation. And you can get the quality out of your meditation more and more that way. Okay?
I find that like inspiration is very important. So for right now there is some live meditation, for example, by Pacific Hermitage in White Salmon, Washington, and I follow, like, I usually turn on the live meditation session that they will do for about an hour, and it helps. I find it helps with my discipline. If I meditate by myself, I find it harder to keep going. But I find it easier when I, for example, meditate live with the other ajahns. It keeps my discipline.
That's okay. If you cannot yet discipline yourself, then you need to have other people to help you discipline. But the goal is eventually to be able to discipline yourself. Then you don't have to wait for the time to meditate. Then you can meditate anytime you want, once you can discipline yourself. But when you first start, you have always excuses. Oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. So you might need some other people to help you to start your meditation. But once you know how to meditate and you appreciate the result from your meditation, then you'll be inspired by yourself, and then you will probably want to do more and more. So you don't have to wait for other people to participate with you that way.
Sui is better. He is better. Sui is better.
Maybe both of you can help inspire each other. If when one is lazy, then one can
Yeah, she's good with sutta. I should learn from her about
but
sutta.
to have good friend, put the whole practice together is very helpful because we can rely on each other to support each other.
Yeah, we are Kalyanimita.
Okay, but if one practice and one doesn't practice, then it can be a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
No,
true.
we
We
practice.
inspire each other.
Yeah, good. Then you're lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're so happy to see you.
Yeah, we are so
Thank
happy.
Okay,
to
so
talk to
happy
you.
to see you all.
Thank you so much.
I think
Thank
I
you.
have spent
Thank you.
quite a lot of time now, almost 1 hour, talking to all
okay.
of you. So
Yeah.
I am sorry to have to leave you for now. But I'll come back
Okay.
again when I feel bored or feel lonely and want to talk or see you.
Yes.
I will then
Yeah.
just post an impromptu invitation. Whoever is lucky to
We're
come
so
by.
grateful for you, Ajahn. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
We are
much.
so
Yeah, we're
grateful.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for attending this meeting. And I hope you are all well and happy and progress in your practice. Okay?
Thank you,
Bye
Ajahn.
for now.
Thank you. Sadhu.
See you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ajahn.